Welcome back to the Navigate Credit Union Broadcast Center. We're here now with our third guest of the day, Rosemarie Martin. She's here. She's a researcher at Brown. She's here to tell us about a revolutionary program aimed at helping reduce overdoses in inmates. So thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
And thank you for taking the time to hear a little bit about what we're doing in Rhode Island.
So just give us an overview of the program.
Okay, so in 2015, the governor, Gina Raimondo, created a opioid intervention and prevention task force, and as part of that initiative, the Rhode Island Department of Corrections began a comprehensive medication-assisted treatment for all individuals coming into department who have an opioid use disorder. The leading cause of death among people leaving corrections is overdose. And in Rhode Island in 2015, 21% of our overdose deaths were people who had been involved in corrections. So within this program, we are instituting medication treatment. So all three FDA-approved medications for the treatment of opioid use disorder, methadone, buprenorphine, and naltrexone, for all individuals coming through the system.
And have there been results? Is the program working?
Yeah, so to date, we've treated approximately 3,200 individuals. Before the program was expanded to include all people with an opioid use disorder appropriate for medication, the standard of care was to withdraw individuals. So if they came in and they were on medication-assisted treatment, that would be withdrawn, slowly tapered. With this new program, we contract with a community provider, Kodak, who provides the wraparound care while they're in the Department of Corrections. And we provide continued medication-assisted treatment for people who are coming in on treatment. And for the individuals who are opioid dependent, who are in need of treatment, we will actually initiate treatment for them. And for folks who are sentenced and are part of our pre-release population, if they're appropriate for MAT and they came in with a history of an opioid use disorder, they will be screened and offered to start medication-assisted treatment before release. And what we have found overall is that we're now, for 55% of the individuals that are on treatment, those individuals are already coming in on treatment. So there's no interruption. They're basically, they can come into corrections, continue their treatment for opioid use disorder, and then get released and continue right back. What we have found is that we've had a significant decrease in the risk of overdose deaths. From 2016 to 2017, the overdose deaths among recently incarcerated individuals decreased by 65% in the state of Rhode Island. So there was an overall decrease of 12%, but 65% within the population with a recent incarceration history. So this treatment is it's saving lives.
Absolutely.
It's saving lives, and the individuals who are receiving the treatment are able to go about their life and continue in care as soon as they leave corrections. They're already admitted to a program. They know what they need to do to stay engaged in treatment and for their recovery.
So do you think this program also then helps prevent future incarcerations?
That is one of the things that we're going to look at. We're going to look at recidivism. We're going to look at some of the things that happen within the facility as well, because there were some concerns that there might be some diversion of the medication while they're incarcerated. That's actually been quite low, and anecdotally what we're hearing from several of the wardens is that because we're meeting the demand, there's less contraband coming into the facilities. So it's positive all the way around.
And is this a volunteer program? Does the inmate choose if they want to take part in it?
Yes, so they are screened upon commitment or pre-release, or they can self-refer if they feel that they need treatment. And they then would be screened and assessed, and if appropriate, they would meet with a prescriber. And along with that prescriber, they would make the decision as to what type of treatment would be appropriate for them. And it's not just the medication, it's a wraparound treatment. They get counseling and discharge planning services, so that we're looking at the entire individual.
Not just the addiction, it's
Yep.
helping the whole individual.
Yep.
Which
Yep. Part of the puzzle.
can't
but-
be a negative thing. That too, I'm sure helps with the rehabilitation as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was saying before, with possibly preventing
Yep,
return
the
to prison
recidivism.
later. Yes.
Yeah. So we will be looking at that, among other things.
And so, are other states adopting programs like this, or are we kind of the model for the rest of the country?
Rhode Island is the first state to have a comprehensive program. So this is historic. And Rhode Island is fortunate in that we have a unified correctional system. So our jails and our prison are together. So it's a unified system. So that, and we're a small state and a small facility. But we are the first to roll this out. And the interest from other jurisdictions has really been phenomenal. Yesterday, we had conference calls with 3 different states. And there's probably been about a dozen or more that we've had either site visits with or conference calls, and they just keep coming in. So yeah, we're happy to share our protocols, our standing operating procedures, and spread the word that this is working and that we've been able to do it here in Rhode Island.
So Rhode Island really is paving the way, and the opioid crisis is nationwide. It's a problem, and President Trump a few months ago declared it a national emergency. So this is really a solid way of really making a difference to help save lives and to help stop the spread of the crisis.
Yes, especially among this very, very high-risk population that may not be entering treatment, may not have the opportunity to enter into treatment because they're just not touched by the system. And they're now, unfortunately, they come in contact with the criminal justice system, but that can be the right door for treatment. We can do some treatment and rescue and prevention with them so that we can stop the cycle of recidivism.
Absolutely. And so what are the next steps for the program?
So we're looking at changing some of the formulations of our medication so that when people are released from corrections, they have a bit more coverage because the medications are daily medications. And so in terms of compliance, we want to reduce the barriers. And so we're looking at a different formulation of buprenorphine that would be long-acting and would provide about a month of coverage. We're also looking to expand the amount of time that they're on treatment. Right now, if someone is in for a year or more, they're withdrawn from the very slowly tapered off of the medication-assisted treatment. And we're looking to extend that so that we don't have to ramp them back up on medication when they leave again, pre-release. And we're looking at rolling out and helping other states come up with their own protocols and keeping this so that our criminally justice involved individuals can be treated with the state-of-the-art treatment as you would for any other disease.
And does this treatment come at any cost to the patient?
No. While they are incarcerated at Department of Corrections, they are not, they don't have to pay for the treatment. It's part of services that they receive. And when they are, after they leave and go into the community, it would be covered under most commercial and public insurance.
And so do you think that this is a model that could be applied more generally to maybe people outside of the correctional institutions? Of course, it's a great place to start, but do you think this model could be used for anyone who wouldn't have had access before?
Actually, yes. So that's typically what has happened is that the criminal justice population have been the ones that have not had access. So they've had the restricted access, where the population at large does have access to the best of care and treatment available. And we are, within Rhode Island, looking at those rural areas, the areas where we don't have immediate access. And so this type of a rollout where we're actually looking for those people that we wouldn't otherwise have encountered to introduce them to treatment would be a next step.
Great. Well, it's absolutely fascinating work, and you're clearly saving so many lives and helping so many people. So congratulations to your team.
Thank you very much.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it. Rosemarie Martin, she's here from Brown University talking about their fascinating research and efforts to help the incarcerated community in Rhode Island. So thank you so much. And
You're very welcome. Thank you.
We'll be right back in just a few minutes with our last guest of the day. Today, here in the Navigate Credit Union Broadcast Center.